وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. عن جابر بن عبد الله الأنصاري عن فاطمة الزهراء عليه السلام بنت رسول الله قال: سمعت فاطمة أنها قالت: دخل علي أبي رسول الله في بعض الأيام فقال: السلام عليك يا فاطمة. فقلت: وعليكم السلام عليكم السلام. قال: إني أجد في بدني ضعفا. فقلت له: أعيذك بالله يا أبتاه من الضعف. فقال: يا فاطمة ائتيني بالكساء اليماني فغطيني به. فأتيته بالكساء اليماني فغطيته به وصرت أنظر إليه وإذا وجهه يتلألأ كأنه البدر في ليلة تمامه وكماله. فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولدي الحسن قد أقبل وقال: السلام عليك يا أماه. فقلت: عليك السلام يا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي. فقال: يا أماه إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة جدي رسول الله. فقلت: نعم إن جدك تحت الكساء. فأقبل الحسن نحو الكساء وقال: السلام عليك يا جداه يا رسول الله، تأذن لي أن أدخل معك تحت الكساء؟ فقال: وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا صاحب حوضي، قد أذنت لك. فدخل معهما تحت الكساء. فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولدي الحسين قد أقبل وقال: السلام عليك يا أماه. فقلت: عليك السلام يا ولدي ويا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي. فقال لي: يا أماه إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة جدي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله. فقلت: نعم إن جدك وأخاك تحت الكساء. فدنا الحسين نحو الكساء وقال: السلام عليك يا جداه، السلام عليك يا من اختاره الله، أتأذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ فقال: وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا شافع أمتي، قد أذنت لك. فدخل معهما تحت الكساء. فأقبل عند ذلك أبا الحسن علي بن أبي طالب وقال: السلام عليك يا بنت رسول الله. فقلت: عليك السلام يا أبا الحسن ويا أمير المؤمنين. فقال: يا فاطمة إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة أخي وابن عمي رسول الله. فقلت: نعم ها هو مع ولديك تحت الكساء. فأقبل علي نحو الكساء وقال: السلام عليك يا رسول الله، أتأذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ قال له: وعليك السلام يا أخي ويا وصي وخليفتي وصاحب لوائي، قد أذنت لك. فدخل علي تحت الكساء. ثم أتيت نحو الكساء وقلت: السلام عليك يا أبتاه يا رسول الله، تأذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ قال: وعليك السلام يا بنتي ويا بضعتي، قد أذنت لك. فدخلت تحت الكساء. فلما اكتملنا جميعا تحت الكساء أخذ برسول الله بطرف الكساء وأومأ بيده اليمنى إلى السماء وقال اللهم إن هؤلاء أهل بيتي وخاصتي وحامتي لحمهم لحمي ودمهم دمي يؤلمني ما يؤلمهم ويحزنني ما يحزنهم أنا حرب لمن حاربهم ولا وسلم لمن سالمهم وعدو لمن عاداهم إنهم مني وأنا منهم فاجعل صلواتك وبركاتك وغفرانك ورضوانك علي وعليهم وأذهب عنهم الرجس وأهل البيت ويطهرهم تطهيرا. فقال الله عز وجل يا ملائكتي ويا سكان سماواتي إني ما خلقت سماء مبنية ولا أرضا مدهية ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضيئا ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحرا يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا في محبة هؤلاء الخمسة الذين هم تحت الكساء. فقال الأمين جبرائيل يا ربي ومن تحت الكساء؟ فقال عز وجل هم أهل بيت النبوة ومعدن الرسالة هم فاطمة وأبوها وبعلها وبنوها. فقال جبرائيل يا ربي أتأذن لي أن أهبط إلى الأرض لأكون معهم سادسا؟ فقال الله نعم قد أذنت لك. فهبت الأمين جبرائيل وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله علي الأعلى ويقرئك السلام ويخصك بالتحية والإكرام ويقول لك وعزتي وجلالي إني ما خلقت سماء مبنية ولا أرضا مدهية ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضيئا ولا فلكا يدور ولا فلكا يصري إلا لأجلكم ومحبتكم وقد أذن لي أن أدخل معكم فهل تأذن لي يا رسول الله؟ فقال رسول الله وعليكم السلام يا أمين وحي الله إنه نعم قد أذنت لك. فدخل جبرائيل معنا تحت الكساء فقال لأبي إن الله قد أوحى إليكم ويقول إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم الرجس أهل البيت ويطهركم تطهيرا. فقال علي لأبي يا رسول الله أخبرني ما لجلوسنا هذا تحت الكساء من الفضل عند الله؟ فقال النبي والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واصطفاني بالرسالة نجيا ما ذكر خبرنا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض وفيه جمع من شيعتنا ومحموم إلا وفرج الله همه ولا مغموم إلا وكشف الله غمه ولا طالب حاجة إلا وقضى الله حاجته. إذا والله فزنا وحسدنا وكذلك شيعتنا إذا والله فزنا وفاز شيعتنا ورب الكعبة. فقال النبي ثاني يا علي والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واصطفاني بالرسالة نجيا ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض وفيه جمع من شيعتنا ومحموم إلا وفرج الله همه فرج الله همه ولا مغموم إلا وكشف الله غمه ولا طالب حاجة إلا وقضى الله حاجته. فقال علي أيضا والله فزنا وسعدنا وكذلك شيعتنا فازوا وسعدوا في الدنيا والآخرة ورب الكعبة. اللهم صل على محمد.
بر محمد وال محمد صلوات. ایک اور صلوات پڑھ دیجیے آواز بلند. پردیس میں حسین کی، پردیس میں حسین کی بستی اجڑ گئی. ہے غازی تیرے بعد قیامت گزر گئی. غازی تیرے بعد قیامت گزر گئی. دریا سے جب نہ لوٹا سعادت کا سہارا، اولاد فاطمہ نے پھر چین ہی نہ پایا. زہرا کی کائنات ہی ہے، زہرا کی کائنات ہی بن میں بکھر گئی. غازی تیرے بعد قیامت گزر گئی. تیری لاڈلی سکینہ صدمے اٹھا رہی ہے، جب سے گیا ہے غازی اس کو بلا رہی ہے. سوتی نہیں ہے چین سے، سوتی نہیں ہے چین سے، اتنا وہ ڈر گئی. غازی تیرے بعد قیامت گزر گئی. عباس جب تلک تھا شے کو نہ کوئی غم تھا، محفوظ تھی ردائے جب ضامن غرم تھا. وہ کیا شہید ہو گیا ہے، وہ کیا شہید ہو گیا، ہر آس مر گئی. غازی تیرے بعد قیامت گزر گئی. پردیس میں حسین کی ہے، پردیس میں حسین کی بستی اجڑ گئی. غازی تیرے بعد قیامت گزر گئی. حسنین کا تھا بازو کنبے کی جان تھا وہ، شہزادیوں کے سر پہ ایک سائبان تھا وہ.
سب کو جدائی ہے تیری، سب کو جدائی ہے تیری، بے آس کر گئی، غازی تیرے بعد قیامت گزر گئی، زینب نے بعد تیرے کیا کیا ستم اٹھائے، زینب نے بعد تیرے کیا کیا ستم اٹھائے، دل کے وہ زخم سارے کس کو بھلا دکھائے، ہونٹوں پہ تیرا نام تھا، ہے ہونٹوں پہ تیرا نام تھا، زینب جدھر گئی، غازی تیرے بعد قیامت گزر گئی، پردیس میں حسین کی، ہے پردیس میں حسین کی بستی اجڑ گئی، غازی تیرے بعد قیامت گزر گئی۔ صلوات پڑھ دیجیے بابا سے بولا۔
بر محمد و آل محمد صلوات۔ بار دیگر صلوات۔
عباس کے لاشے کے قریب ایک بہن خستہ تنو کشتہ جگر خفتہ نصیب، بے نوا بے کسو بے پردہ لاچار و غریب، لیکن اس پر بھی محمد کے گھرانے کی نقیب، زرد چہرے پہ ہے بکھرے ہوئے بالوں کی نقاب، جیسے جزدان میں لپٹی ہوئی عصمت کی کتاب، جا بجا جسم پہ ہیں خون کے دھبوں کے نشان، جیسے پیری میں اٹھائی ہو کوئی لاش جوان، ورم آنکھوں میں کمر خم ہے تو خاموش زبان، ضبط کا پھر بھی یہ عالم ہے کہ گریہ نہ فغاں، کون بی بی ہے جو اس طرح سے جان کھوتی ہے، جس طرح لاش پہ بھائی کے بہن روتی ہے۔ محویت کا ہے یہ عالم کے نظر ہٹتی نہیں، چومتی ہے کبھی شانیں تو کبھی جھک کے جبیں، کبھی تھر آتا ہے لاشا، کبھی کربل کی زمین۔ خوف ہے عرش الہی نہ الٹ جائے کہیں، لاش عباس پہ یہ دختر حیدر تو نہیں، دیکھیے دیکھیے یہ زینب مضطر تو نہیں، دیکھیے دیکھیے یہ زینب مضطر تو نہیں۔ اور رو کے کہتی ہے اٹھو صاحب شمشیر اٹھو، حیدر عصر اٹھو، وقت کے شبیر اٹھو، آل تطہیر کی سوئی ہوئی تقدیر اٹھو، کاٹ دو عابدے بیمار کی زنجیر اٹھو، اور آگ ہی آگ ہے بھڑکی ہوئی خیموں میں تمام، چھن گئی سر سے ردا جاتی ہوں میں سوئے شام، میرے عباس قیامت ہے بپا تیرے بعد، لٹ کے برباد ہوئی آل عبا تیرے بعد، مٹ گئی رسم وفا جانے وفا تیرے بعد، خاک دنیا میں ہے جینے کا مزہ تیرے بعد، لے کے رانڈوں کو یتیموں کو کدھر جائے بہن، میرے عباس میرے عباس دعا مانگو کہ مر جائے بہن، میرے عباس دعا مانگو کہ مر جائے بہن۔ صلوات۔
MashaAllah. Thank you, brothers, for the wonderful recitation. The program here at the MIC will continue over the next few weeks, and I'll introduce the Maulana for tonight in a second, but please remember that each Saturday night for the next 3 weeks, the Majalis will start directly after the Namaz-e-Maghribain. So the Maulanas will be leading the namaz, so if anybody wants to get the extra thawab, please do arrive a little bit earlier and join the salat. Over the next few weeks, these Maulanas will be taking us further through the journey and talking about and helping us share the experiences that our Ahl Bayt suffered. And inshallah, we hope that everybody can come, and you can also invite others that you know to join us through that journey. So tonight Salim has joined us from the UK. Maulana Sayyid Muhammed Rizvi was born in Vienna in Austria. He graduated in biomedical sciences at the University of Royal Holloway in London. And then he attended Hawza of Qum and in England. He has been 5 years resident alim in London. And apart from his religious studies, he's also obtained an advanced diploma in blood cupping. He speaks many languages, including English, Urdu, German, and Farsi. So as you can see, the theme here is that the Maulanas that we have invited are educated not only in the religious matters, but also have pursued education in other areas, because as we all know, the pursuit of education and knowledge is something that all of our imams asked us to do and advised us to do. So we should all take that into consideration. So Maulana, may I invite you to the members to conduct tonight's Majlis.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين بارئ الخلائق أجمعين باعث الأنبياء والمرسلين ثم الصلاة والسلام والتحية والإكرام على أفضل الموجودات العبد المؤيد الرسول المسدد المصطفى الأمجد والمحمود الأحمد سيدنا ونبينا وحبيب قلوبنا وشفيع ذنوبنا صاحب الوقار والسكينة المدفون بأرض المدينة أبي القاسم محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين واللعنة الدائمة على أعدائهم أجمعين من الأولين والآخرين آمين يا رب العالمين. فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى في كتابه الكريم وهو أصدق القائلين وقوله الحق بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم مرج البحرين يلتقيان بينهما برزخ لا يبغيان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان صلوات. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our tears that we have shed for Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam during the course of Majalis over the 10 days of the mourning period for Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam, the first Ashra. And may Allah give us tawfiq to continue the azadari for Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam for the days and weeks to come. For each and every tear that flows from the cheek of the azadar of Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam takes with it many sins that may have been committed by the person in his lifetime. And one does not realize the value of the tear that is shed for the tragedy of Hussein until one reads that narration, that hadith, which says that every eye shall cry on the day of judgment except the eye that shed tears for Hussein. There is something in shedding tears for Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam that nothing has been emphasized so much in narrations as much as crying for Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam. So when you sit in the Majlis of Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam, when we come to mourn Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam, consider this as a form of worship. As the hadith says, man baka, the one who cries for Hussein, the one who makes another person cry for Hussein, and the one who cannot cry, sometimes the tears don't flow, and the one who cannot cry yet he makes a face as if he's crying for Hussein. وَجَبَتْ لَهُ جَنَّةٌ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promises him paradise. Not because you and I have shed tears for Hussein, but rather because of who Hussein is. It's not that you and I deserve heaven. The reality is we don't deserve anything. But because of who Hussein is to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah says, I will give Jannah to the one who sheds tears for Hussein. Wajabat lahu Jannah, wajabat lahu Jannah. Wajib upon him, the one who sincerely sheds tears for Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. Who is Hussein? Before we go there, Surah Al-Rahman, Surah 55, verse 19. Maraj al-Bahrain yaltaqiyan. The famous verse that you all know of the holy surah, of the holy Quran, of the holy chapter, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Maraj al-Bahrain yaltaqiyan, where two oceans, Allah says, we have set forth two oceans, two seas. Yaltaqiyan, they meet. Baynahuma barzakhun la yubghiyan. Yet though they meet, they do not cross over, because between them is a barzakh. Because between them is a barrier. What is a barzakh? A barzakh is a barrier. These two oceans come together, yet they do not cross over. They don't encroach on one another, because there is a barrier between them. فَبِأَيَّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ. And O men and jinn, which of the favors of your Lord shall you deny? Allah is asking the men and jinn, insan and jinn. فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ. Which of the favors of your Lord will you deny? Now the mufassirin, the ulama of the tafsir of the Holy Quran, when they comment on this, they've written many different things. What are these two oceans? Some have said where sweet water meets salty water. They meet one another, but yet there's a barrier. They don't cross over. There's an invisible barrier in between them that holds them apart. Some of the mufassirin have come forward and said, no, it is where the ocean meets the sky. When you stand at the seaside, you look at the furthest point where the ocean meets the sky. They say it's that, Maraj al-Bahrain. Some have said, no, it's not that. And everyone has given different opinions. But when the sixth Imam, Ja'far as-Sadiq alayhi salatu was-salam, when the Holy Imam is asked, Mawla, what is this? Yabna Rasulillah, what is this Maraj al-Bahrain? The Imam says these are two oceans. The first ocean represents our grandfather Ali ibn Abi Talib. And the second ocean represents our grandmother Fatima az-Zahra. Maraj al-Bahrain yaltaqiyan. The two oceans meet, Ali being the ocean of knowledge and Fatima being the ocean of prophethood. For Rasulullah says, Fatima hiya bad'atu minni. Fatima is a part of me. Fatima is the ocean of Nabuwah. Ali is the Bahrul Ilm. Ali ibn Abi Talib is the ocean of knowledge. They come together, but then there's a barzakh. And then the sixth Imam says that barzakh is Rasulullah. That barrier between them. In other words, that link, when these oceans come together, there's a link. So the link between Ali and Fatima is Rasulullah. And then which of the favors of your Lord shall you deny? يَخْرُجُ مِنْهُمَا اللُّؤْلُ وَالْمَرْجَانِ. And then the next ayah says what? And from these two oceans we bring out pearls and coral stone. We bring out stones, expensive rocks. فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ. Mawla, what are these stones? The Mufassirin says the pearls that come out of the oceans. From the mouth of the oysters that are found in the depths of the oceans. But you know what the ta'wil is? The Imam says yes, but the ta'wil is that when these two oceans come together, the two pearls that come forward are Hassan and Hussein. Hassan and Hussein. And which of the favors of your Lord shall you deny? It is as if Ali, Fatima, Hassan, Hussein are those favors of the Lord that Allah says, go ahead and try to deny them if you can. Go and try to deny them if you can. فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ. The point being that one cannot deny the favors of the Lord. And so as a result of these two seas merging together, oceans coming together, the world was blessed with Hassan and Hussein. You know, out of all of the Aimma, what makes Imam Hussein unique is that where all of the Imams, except the 12th Imam, were all martyred, they were all shaheed. Yet there is no shahadat like that of Hussein ibn Ali. Each and every Imam was killed either by the dagger, by the sword, or by poison. Yet for none of the Imams did the heavens weep blood except Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. The likes of a Tabari. Tabari is a Sunni alim, not even a Shia. Ibn Hajar Makki, Sunni alim, not Shia. It says after Imam Hussein was killed in Karbala, no stone was lifted except blood was found under it. Whenever it would rain, there would be drops of blood within the rain. And I remember reading once in the Encyclopedia Britannica, which records British history, that in the same year that Hussein was killed in Karbala, in Britain, people found blood in their milk and butter. This is a non-Muslim history. And it's online, you can go and see it for yourselves. That when people would put their laundry outside to dry, they would come out and they would see there's blood stains on it, blood drops on it, as if there was blood in the rain. That makes Imam Hussein unique. Number two is that Imam Hussein alayhi salam is not just mourned by the Shia. There are people who are non-Muslim that take an interest in Hussein in Karbala. You go to Arba'in, how many times you see Christians coming and giving their respect in front of the Haram of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein? Zoroastrians coming and giving their respect to Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Hindus coming and giving their respect to Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam. And so for Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam is that pearl that came out as a result of the merging of the two seas, Ali and Fatima. Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. You know, out of all of the historical accounts we have, the most authentic history, and let that be the message for tonight. Out of all of the historical accounts that we have, Ayatollah Mutahari says that the most authentic history we have is the Maqtal of Karbala. The Maqtal of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Why? Because the history of Karbala was written within a year or two after the tragedy of Karbala. The earliest Maqtal that we have is the Maqtal of Asbagh ibn Nubata. One of the earliest, which was penned down within a year or two. It doesn't exist anymore. It has been lost over time, but yet other books have quoted from that book. And so hence we know this is one of the earliest sources of the history of the Maqtal of Karbala. Yet the earliest history of the Prophet was written when? Over 100 years after the passing of the Prophet. So even more authentic than the history of the Prophet is the Maqtal of Karbala. Let that sink in. All of these major historians that you hear their names, At-Tabari, Tarikh, Ibn Kathir, Tarikh Kamil, Sirat of Hisham, these are major works of history. Doesn't get any major than them. Yeah, they all came many years after the Prophet. Yet as soon as Imam Hussein ﷺ was martyred, straight away what happened in Karbala was documented. That's another thing that makes Imam Hussein very unique and his history and his stance. Number 4, azadari, mourning, matam, crying, noha, marsiya, all of that, despite all of the other imams being shaheed, yet all of that, all of azadari has been associated with only one imam. Imam Amirul Mu'mineen, Shaheed Kufa. Imam Hassan, Shaheed Medina. Imam Sajjad ﷺ was in Karbala. Imam Bakr ﷺ was in Karbala. Yet when you hear the name Azadari, straight away Hussein comes to mind. There is something unique. It is as if it is the will of God. It is the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that the name of Hussein remains high. You know why? Because Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam gave everything for his name. And the Quran says, if you remember me, I shall remember you. Remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will remember you. And as a result of what Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam did in Karbala, and Allah repaying Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam, the name of Imam Hussein remains high. It's unique that even non-Muslims have commented on him. Authors, writers, Christian priests, scholars, Hindus, the likes of Gandhi, who says if you want to free India from the British Raj, if only I had 72 like those of Karbala, I would have freed India in 24 hours. Or the Christian Lebanese scholar who says, had Hussein belonged to us, we would put an alam in every street corner and proclaim Hussein is ours. So never be shy to hold your alam. This Christian man says, if he was for us, we'd put an alam in every street corner. And we'll tell the world Hussein belongs to us. And how lucky are you, O Shia? Lebanese Christian scholar. I don't remember his name. I'll get you his name after. There's numerous. There's a Christian scholar who's written a book after reading Nahjul Balagha. The book has been translated in English. Ali ibn Abi Talib, The Voice of Human Justice. Many such examples can be found where Christians, after studying the lives of Ahlul Bayt, have commented, praised, and even sometimes lived by the teachings of Ahlul Bayt. And do not be surprised when the letter of Ali ibn Abi Talib to Malik al-Ashtar in Nahjul Balagha is still used today as presented as the masterpiece of political leadership in the UN by Kofi Annan. And the reality is the Holy Imam Ali ibn Musa al-Rida alayhi salatu wasalam, he says, Rahimallahu abdan man ahya amrana. He says, may Allah's mercy be on that abd who upholds our legacy. Mawla, how should we uphold your legacy? He says, Ya ibn Rasulillah, how should we uphold the legacy? He says, learn our ulum and pass it on. For if the people heard what we had said, if they knew our kalam, by God they would fall in love with us. If only the people knew. And so when these people when these people do come and read, like these Christians, the Hindus, the Hussaini Brahmins, within the Hindus, are they Muslim? No. Believe in Tawheed? No. Believe in Risalatul Nabi? No. Believe in the Imamat of Ali? No. Believe in Hussein? Yes. They say, no, we don't believe in Islam. But Hussein is unique. Because the stand of Hussein was for humanity. The voice of Ali was the voice of human justice. You see how people come to Ahlul Bayt. If only they heard the words of Ahlul Bayt, the true teachings of Al Muhammad, people would fall in love with them. People would look at them and fall in love with them. It is narrated in one of the books, Mizanul Hikmah, by Ayatollah Marhum Muhammad Rizvi, that a man by the name of Abdul Rahman left from Isfahan and he came to Baghdad in the time of Mutawakkil. He says, I wasn't a Shia until I saw Imam Ali Naqi al-Hadi. And Isfahan that time, Iran was Sunni, it wasn't Shia. They said, what is the reason you're the only Shia in town? You're the only Shia in all of Isfahan. What happened? He says, I went to Baghdad to meet the Caliph. And as I was waiting, they called out, Ali ibn Muhammad al-Hadi is to enter. I said, who is this Ali ibn Muhammad? They said, he is the Imam of the Rafidah. They used to call the Shia what? Rafidah. They still call the Shia Rafidah. They say, Hada Imam al-Rafidah. He is the Imam of the Rawafid. He says, as soon as I heard that, I decided I'm not going to go anywhere until I see who this man is. He says, I stood there and I waited. And all of a sudden, when they announced that Ali al-Hadi, Ali al-Naqi al-Hadi is entering, I said, who is this? They said, he is Ibn al-Riza. He is the grandson of Rida. Because Imam Rida alayhi salam's name was known. You remember, Mamun made Imam Rida alayhi salam as the heir to the throne, the crown prince. And because of that, his name became famous. Even people who had never seen him, had never met him, did not know him, did not believe in him, yet they still knew the name Ali al-Rida. Because there was a coin minted in his name. He is the grandson of Ali al-Rida. He said, really? Imam of Rafidah, really? He said, yes. He said, I want to see him. So he says, I stood there and I waited. And all of a sudden, he says, I saw the Imam came riding a horse. And as the Imam was coming towards, because the Imams were summoned, the last few Imams in the courts of the Caliphs, they were summoned twice a week, Monday and Thursday. The Caliph would keep an eye on them. What are they doing? Who are you meeting? Who's coming to your house? Who's leaving your house? There were spies all around them. He says, I waited and waited until the Imam came, and as soon as the Imam came, the people started to move aside. He says, and listen to this, he says, as soon as I saw the Imam, فَوَقَعَ حُبُّهُ فِي قَلْبِي. He says, the love of that man entered my heart. I don't know what it was. I'd never met him, I'd never seen him, I'd never spoken to him. I did not know him. I wasn't a Shia. But just when I saw him, there was a nur on his face. Something struck me. The love of this man entered my heart and I made a dua. I said, Ya Allah, I don't know this him. I don't know who this is. He's the Imam of the Shia. I don't know him. But oh Allah, protect him from the evils of Mutawakkil. He said, I made a dua for him. And he says the Imam was traveling, he's not looking at anyone, he's making his way towards the court of the Caliph. He's not looking left, he's not looking right, he's looking straight. And he says, as soon as he comes to the position where I was standing, he looks at me and he says, Ya Abdul Rahman, your dua has been accepted. He says, that struck me even more. He says, how does he know my name? I never mentioned my name to him. On top of that, how does he know I made a dua in my heart? This is evident to the fact that the Imam has ilmul ghaib. Allahumma salli ala. The Imam knows the secrets of the hearts. The Imam knows what's on the tongues and the minds and the hearts of the people. He says, Ya Abdul Rahman, your dua has been accepted. And in return, we make a dua for you. May Allah give you a long life. May Allah give you the mal of dunya. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you an offspring. He says, it's been many years. So he's back in Isfahan. He's speaking to his people. He says, it's been many years. I'm an old man. yet I'm fit and healthy. I have more than 10 children, and I have so much mal of the dunya, I don't know where to keep it. And this is as a result of the dua of my master Ali al-Hadi al-Naqi alayhi salatu wassalam. This is why I'm a Shia. So two things, people listen. The Imam says if the people heard what we say, they'd fall in love with us. And number two, if they saw us, there was a strange attraction within Ahlul Bayt. People would flock to them. People would run to them. Even enemies of Ahlul Bayt. You know, in Karbala, when one by one, Bani Hashim would come to fight. When Hazrat Qasim came to the battlefield, they said, who is this? His face shines like the bright moon. They said, who are these people? When the severed head of Abul Fadl Abbas was brought to Syria, they said, who is that? His head is severed. It's hanging from the neck of a horse. Yet there's a strange light. There's a strange noor in the face of Abul Fadl Abbas. That was something that was godly given to them. There's something strange. And people were just attracted towards them. The kuffar, the likes of Abu Sufyan, Abu Jahl, and Ashraq ibn Khunais. These were amongst the three chiefs of the Quraysh of that time. At night, they would come and sit around the house of the Prophet. When the Prophet would recite the Quran in the middle of the night, they would come and they would listen. Because the recitation of the Prophet had such attraction to it that even the kuffar who would oppose him in the morning hate him. Yet at night they would come and secretly, they would sit outside his house and they would listen to the Prophet reciting the Quran. Because the Arabs had never heard any Arabic like this. The shu'ara of the Arab, biggest of their poets, had not heard anything like this. And so the first night they sit, before dawn, before sunrise, they get up to leave. And as they leave, they cross paths. And they look at one, they said, what are you doing here? He said, what are you doing here? And they realize that they've messed up. They said, look, go home quietly. Do not mention anything to anyone and don't come back again. Promise on your gods. They promise on their gods. They don't come back. The next night they're back again. Historians narrate 3 nights consecutively they come and sit outside the house of the Prophet because they wanted to listen to the recitation. Now imagine when you hear a Qari of Quran reciting the Qira and the Qira'at of the Holy Quran. But imagine that man who was the one who received the Holy Quran. Imagine how he would recite the Quran. Imam al-Sajjad, when he would recite the Quran on the prayer mat, the people would flock around him, sit around him. And he would say, you have not heard us recite the Quran as we would to our complete and maximum potential. They say, Yabna Rasulullah. But what about Rasulullah? People used to listen to Rasulullah recite the Quran. He says, Rasulullah would only recite as much as people had the capacity of handling that. Not the real voice of the Prophet, that heavenly voice of the Prophet. 3 nights go by. The next morning, Abu Jahl comes knocking on the door of Abu Sufyan. They all meet. They say, look, 3 nights we were listening. What have you decided? Is Muhammad ibn Abdullah on haq or not? What are you saying? Does it make sense or no? Do we accept it or no? Abu Jahl says, look, a lot of what he says makes sense. Even as kuffar, they didn't deny it. A lot of what he says makes sense, but we can't accept him. Because Bani Hashim and us are like 2 horses in a race. We compete with Bani Hashim in everything. They were known for their generosity, we competed with them. We also gave. They were known to be the ones who managed the Kaaba. We also took to the affairs of the Kaaba. They were known to be amongst those who used to give water to the pilgrims of the Kaaba. You know, it was an honor, it was a sharaf that our family, my tribe gives water to the pilgrims of the Kaaba. We also gave it. And so in everything they were known for their, for their nobility. We would try to compete with them. Like two horses in a race, back and forth. They had a jealousy against Bani Hashim. He says, but now Bani Hashim said that there is a prophet from amongst them. We cannot compete against that. Because they knew that the prophet only comes from Allah. They knew that we cannot make a fake prophet in face of the real prophet, in competition of the real prophet. Then how can one make a fake caliph in competition of the... The kuffar, they knew their limits. Unfortunately, the ummah did not know their limits. And so this is what makes Ahlul Bayt unique. That their message, as long as one has a pure heart, it takes a night to become hur. You know the hadith that says, thinking tafakkur of an hour, of a sa'ah, is better than worship of 70 years. They asked one of the ulama, they said, what kind of thinking is better than 70 years? Imagine 70 years, you pray 5 times a day minimum, you fast in the month of Ramadan, you go for Hajj, you give zakat, you do all of that. Yet the hadith says, but 1 hour of thinking is better than 70 years of worship. So, Baba, what kind of thinking is that? I can sit down and think. You know what the ulama say? They said, no, it's not every person's thinking that one person sits to think as a 70 years done. 1 hour of worship, so 1 hour of thinking, 70 years worship, khalas, done. No. It's not every person's thinking which is better than 70 years. It is the thinking of hur on Shab-e Ashur, which is better than 70 years of ibadat. 70 years of worship. Why? Because within that moments of thinking that he did Shab-e Ashur, he changed his fate. He changed his destiny from hell to heaven. Inni ukhayru nafsi bain al-jannati wan-nar. I see myself between heaven and hell. And he thought and he pondered. And he changed his destiny forever. It's that kind of thinking that changes the destiny of man, is absolutely better than 70 years of worship. Recite salawat. And so as Ashura has come to an end, remember, Azadari has not come to an end. Do not fall lazy. Do not fall into the trap of being lazy. Ashura is finished. You don't need to go to the mosque anymore. Azadari is not finished. Azadari will continue until Arba'in and after Arba'in. You remember Rasulullah? When Abu Talib passed away and Lady Khadija passed away, he mourned the whole year. And that year was known as Amul Huzn. Yet Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam's martyrdom is greater than that of Abu Talib and Lady Khadija. Sayyidu Shuhada, huwa afdalu man istushhida. He is the greatest to ever be shaheed. If Rasulullah can mourn Abu Talib and Khadija for a year and call it the year of sorrow and grief, Amul Huzn, then why is it a problem when the Shia mourn Hussein for 2 months and 8 days? What is the problem in it? If Rasulullah mourns Abu Talib for a year and calls it the Amul Huzn. Imam al-Baqir alayhi salatu wassalam. You know, if you look to the wasiyah of Imam Baqir to his son, Imam al-Sadiq. He says, my son, when I die, I've left some money behind. Do not spend that money on anything except that you use that money to hold gatherings of azadari for me for 10 years in Mina. Pay attention to this. He says, there's money which I have reserved. Can I give it to the poor? No. Can I give it to the fuqara? No. Can I give it to the masakeen? No. Mawla says, no. Oh, my son, this money is for my azadari alone. Use it to hold gatherings of majalis for me in Mina. When is Mina? In the season of Hajj, where everyone gathers, all of the Hujjaj. Gather all of them and tell them how oppressed we Ahlul Bayt were. Never hide the oppression of Ahlul Bayt from anyone. And Mina would attract Muslims of all backgrounds, of all sects and denominations. Not all of them are Shia. In fact, majority of them are not Shia. And the Imam says, hold azadari for me in Mina. So they know how oppressed we Ahlul Bayt were. And that money I leave behind is specific for this cause. That you uphold my legacy. And so the Imams slowly were installing into the people the foundations of azadari. It begins right with Imam al-Sajjad, as soon as he comes back. In fact, not even when they come back. When they were given freedom in Sham, Bibi Zainab says, we're not ready to leave. Go and tell Yazid we want a house. We want a room. A room in which we will uphold majalis for my brother Hussein ibn Ali. And so the first azadari, the first majlis of Hussein took place where? In the capital of Bani Umayyah, Damascus. In the heart of the city of the enemy. Goes to show, what is the lesson? It doesn't matter where you are. Mourn Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. Damascus, capital of the Umayyads. In there, Ahlul Bayt come together and they cry for Imam Hussein alayhi salam. When they go back, in the houses of Al Muhammad, Bibi Zainab, Bibi Kulsum, Bibi Baleen, they would hold majalis for the ladies. Imam Sajjad would hold majalis for the men. You know the first person to come on the mimbar and recite Masaib for Imam Hussein? Imam Sajjad alayhi salam. The first Zakir of Hussein was Sayyid al-Sajjad. And his sermons are in history, they're recorded in history, you can find them in the books. What happened to his father. And he would, and you know, azadari was such a thing for the Holy Imam, he would not even wait for the mimbar. You know how he lived his life? Somebody would give him water, he would turn towards Karbala and say, Sallallahu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. If only a few drops were given to my father. Someone would give him food, they would present him food. He says, Salamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. Azadari was a part of the daily routine of Imam Sajjad. And so it should be for us. You know what the ulama said this? Don't even wait for Muharram. Every Thursday night, Shab Jum'ah, Laylatul Jum'ah, hold a small majlis for Hussein, even if it is just 2 sentences for Imam Hussein. Even if you recite one Noha, remember Hussein. If you can't do that, recite the ziyarah of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Connect with Imam Hussein. How? Through his ziyarah. Not a majlis, not Muharram, no problem. Let me recite ziyarat waritha. Let me recite ziyarat Ashura. Assalamu alayka ya warisa Adam safwatillah. Let me remember Hussein alayhi salam through the words of the ziyarah. Not Muharram, no problem. Before you drink water, just give a small salam to Sayyid al-Shuhada. Give a salam to Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas. Give your salams to Sakina bint al-Husayn. Doesn't take much. Small action, but huge reward. As you say, ajrukum ala Allah. The reward is with Allah. أَذَّمَ اللَّهُ أُجُورَنَا وَأُجُورَكُمْ بِمُصَابِنَا بِالْحُسَيْنِ. May our reward for our azadari be increased because of the azadari that we do for Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam. Small deeds. Yet we know what the important thing is, that you stay connected with Imam Hussain throughout the year. Because let's face it, after Muharram, the level of spirituality drops. Comes right down. Muharram, it comes right up. After Muharram, it comes right down. It's these small things that will take us through until next Muharram. You know, the battery of Iman dies with the name of Hussein, it comes back to life. One of the people asked one of the Urafa in Iran, Sheikh Jafar Mujtahidi, they asked him, they said, Ya Sheikh, give me a dua, give me something. What should I recite? Some people love du'as. Give me a dua or something. I want to recite. I want to change my life. I want to do this. Can you give me a dua? I want to do this. Maulana he said, there's no dua. So what do you want to do? I want to change my life. I want to stop sinning. I want to turn my life around. I want to do this. I want to do that. He says, Baba, you don't need a dua for that. Go and do it. He says, I can't do it. He says, you only need 4 letters. He, Sin, Ye, Noon. That's all you need. Hussein. For if Hussein doesn't change you, nothing will change you. Let that sink in. If Imam Hussein doesn't change us, if Hussein doesn't ignite a revolution in the heart, then nothing can ignite a revolution. Because the most powerful force that we have is the name of Hussein ibn Ali. And that's what the hadith says from the 6th Imam, that the tragedy of Hussein has ignited a fire fi qulubil mu'minin, in the hearts of the believers, that fire will never extinguish ila yawm al-qiyamah, until the day of judgment. The name of Hussein has ignited such a light, such a power, that as soon as one is connected with Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam, that flame remains alive. That flame remains alive. Iman stays high. So whenever you feel like Iman is dying, pick up a ziyaratnama and give your salams to Imam Hussain. Come to the Majalis of Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam. As the ulama say, when you go to Karbala, great. If you can't go to Karbala, come to the Majlis of Imam Hussain. That Majlis of Hussain becomes your Karbala. Until you and I are blessed with the opportunity to go to Karbala. That Majlis of Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam. For us right now, we're not in Karbala. What is the closest Karbala to us? It's the Majlis of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. There's not something small, there's something huge to come into the azadari of Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam. And so this is something that makes Sayyid al-Shuhada's message unique in many ways. His attraction, that people are attracted to his message, non-Muslims. His name has a strange light that ignites the flame of Iman in the heart. How he comes together with the 2 oceans meeting, Ali and Fatima. And the only household, by the way, the only family where both mother and father are masoom. There's no other family where both mother and father are masoom. You have the imams who are fathers, infallibles, but their wives are not masoom. The only Hassan and Hussein, Fatima and Ali ibn Abi Talib. Strange household. And hence this household has become the pivotal point, the markaz of Islam. As long as one is connected with the house, Allah opens doors And if the door of this house is shut on someone, Allah closes his doors. It's the only house that remained open. Rasulullah says to his companions, close your doors to the mosque. Illa Baba Ali. All of the doors, you remember when the companions moved into Medina, they built the mosque, Masjidul Nabawi. And each and every companion had a door opening into the mosque. Revelation came down, Rasulullah says, every Sahabi companion, shut your doors. Only one door will remain open. That is the door of Ali and Fatima. He said, Ya Rasulullah, but what about us? That's not fair. Why only your daughter and your cousin Ali? He says, not from me, this is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَمَا يَنْتِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ وَإِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيٌ يُوحَىٰ. The Prophet does not speak out of his own desire. Whatever he says is the will of God. If he says, close your doors, it is the will of God. If he says, Fatima is for me, that's the will of God. And if he says, Man kuntu mawla, fahadha aliyun mawla, that too is the will of God. Yeah. That true is the message of God. The only difference is the message belongs to God. Yet it's relayed out, it's conveyed by the tongue of the messenger. And because it's given by the tongue of the Prophet, hence the tongue of the Prophet is lisanullah. This is the tongue of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whatever comes out of it is direct revelation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Recite salawat, please. Before I end, I want to give just one or two points. Take your attention towards Ashura. Before I come to Masai. The month of Muharram, people say, look, the Shias come out again, it's the month of Muharram. They wear black, they mourn Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam. They hold Majalis. And everything is based around the day of Ashura. And remember, all of Ahlul Bayt have said this to Imam Hussein. La yawm ka yawmika ya Aba Abdullah. There is no day like yours, O Imam Hussein. Sayyidah Zahra says this. Amirul Mu'mineen says this. Imam Hassan alayhi salam, when he is being poisoned and Imam Hussein is crying, shedding tears, he says, oh brother Hussein, you don't cry. Anyone may cry, but you don't cry. La yawm ka yawmika ya Aba Abdullah. There's no day like the day of Ashura. All of Ahlul Bayt have said this to Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Now imagine this. I mean, what is the day of Ashura? That personalities like Ali, Fatima, Hassan, don't look towards Imam Hussein, Rasulullah. Don't look towards Imam Hussein alayhi salam and says, there is no day like your day. There is no day like Ashura. What is Ashura? Have you ever wondered what is it about Ashura? That centuries on, the world still comes out on the day of Ashura. Centuries on, when you look, you ask any historian, for those of you who are historians or history buffs, history dies. History is forgotten. Who knows what Nadir Shah did to Delhi? Who knows what Aurangzeb did to the Shia? Who knows what the Ottomans did to Europe? Who knows what Halaku Khan and Genghis Khan did to Iraq and Baghdad? Only those who read. Who knows what the British did to India? Only those who read. The average person may not know the details. And eventually it's forgotten. It's put in the books and it's stacked on the shelves. Yet Ashur becomes alive every year. The mourners for Ashura increase every year, despite the fact they're attacked every year. You remember a few days back what happened in Oman? Direct shooting by terrorists inside a Majalis for Imam Hussein alayhi salam. For what reason? What were they doing? Were they hurting anyone? Had they taken anyone's right? Had they taken anyone's home and held the Majlis in there? Had they killed anyone? Had they oppressed anyone? No. In fact, they were crying for the oppressed Hussein ibn Ali. Because the enemy does not want us to remember Ashur. So every year while history is forgotten, Ashur is only spreading. What is Ashura? You know what Ashura is? In the words of Ayatollah Wahid al-Khurasani, Hafidhahullah, look how he puts it. He says, Adam came and went. Nuh alayhi salam came and went. Musa alayhi salam, Kalimullah, came and went. Isa alayhi salam came and was lifted up by Allah. The Prophet came and left. Ali ibn Abi Talib came and gone. Imam Hassan came and gone. From Adam to Khatam. Pay attention to this. This is important. It might give you just a small idea of what Ashur is. All of the prophets came and gone. Ali ibn Abi Talib, the first Imam, Abul Aimma, the father of 11 Imams, came and gone. Yet had it not been for the day of Ashura and the blood of Hussein, all of their hard work would have gone to waste. What does he mean? He says Allah's Tawheed survives because of the blood of Hussein. Adam's prophethood, Noah's prophethood, Musa's prophethood, Isa's prophethood, the Prophet of Islam's prophethood. Amirul Mu'mineen's Imamah survives because of Hussein ibn Ali's blood on the day of Ashura. Now you realize how heavy this day is. That had it not been for Imam Hussein alayhi salam's grand sacrifice, religion would have taken a turn, a drastic and dramatic turn. No one would have known what Tawheed is, what God, and it would have been an absolute chaos. Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam, for doing what he did, sacrificing everyone that he had, including the 6-month-old Ali Asghar. He saved the hard work of Adam and Ibrahim and Musa and Nuh and Yusuf and Yaqub and Isa and the Prophet. So by that one day of Ashura saves the Tawheed of Allah, it saves the prophethood of all of the prophets, and it saves Imamah. Now you know why you say in Ziyaratul Warisa, Assalamu alayka ya warisa Adam safwatillah. Assalamu alayka ya warisa Nuhan Nabiyillah, Musa Kalimillah, Isa Ruhillah, Muhammadin Habibillah. Allahumma salli ala. You are the one who inherits all of them. In other words, all of what they had would have gone to waste, but you upheld that. You inherited that. And from now on and onwards, from Ashur and onwards, if anyone wants to benefit directly from the teachings of these great prophets, they must come to the door of Hussein ibn Ali. Must come to Hussein. If they want Adam, they must come to Hussein. If they want Musa, they must come to Hussein. If they want Isa, they must come to Hussein. If they want the Prophet, they must come to Hussein. If they want Ali, they must come to Hussein. This is Ashura. Ashura requires ma'rifah. We don't know what Ashura is. Ashura requires ma'rifah. And then Ayatollah Wahid Khurasani says, and I want to end here, I don't want to keep you too long. He says that what Hussein did in Ashura and what Ashur really is has not only baffled humanity, it has even baffled the prophets. This is a marja saying this, marja taqleed. Not only has it baffled, confused humanity, it has confused the Anbiya what Hussein ibn Ali did and how he did that. And hence they say, there were people who had rejected God. They denied God until they saw that last sajda of Hussein on Asr Ashur. They said, no, there must be a God for a man to give up all of that. And then in the last moments of his life, he puts his head on the ground and he says, Aradayta ya Rabb. Oh Lord, are you pleased with Hussein? There must be a God. And so, there were people who had denied the God of Muhammad, but they could not find it within themselves to deny the God of Hussein. Ajrakum ala Allah. I see there are people who have tears in their eyes. I want to connect with Masaib. Aba Abdullah al-Hussein, Ashur, the Holy Imam is martyred. His musibah ends there. But remember, the musibah of Hussein has ended. The musibah of Zainab and Sakina continues. Ajrakum ala Allah. The musibah of Abul Fadl al-Abbas has ended. But yet the masaib of Ahl Haram must continue. You remember when Imam Hussein alayhi salam, before his last wasiyat, he came to Imam Sajjad. Allow me to say a few words in Urdu. Sayyid al-Shuhada مقتل میں جانے سے پہلے امام سجاد کے پاس آتے ہیں. میرا مولا سجاد بخار میں، شدید بخار میں مبتلا ہے، یہاں تک کہ مقتل کی روایت کہتی ہے کہ مولا اپنی آنکھیں نہیں کھول سکتے تھے. لیکن ایک مرتبہ امام حسین کی آنکھوں سے چند آنسو ٹپک کر سجاد کے رخساروں پہ پڑے کہ میرے مولا سجاد نے اپنی آنکھیں کھولی. کیا دیکھا؟ ایک شخص سر سے پاؤں میں، سر سے لے کے پاؤں تک اپنے زخموں میں چور ہے، ہر طرف خون ہے. گھبرا گئے میرے مولا سجاد، اٹھنا چاہتے تھے. امام حسین نے لیٹا دیا، کہا بیٹا سجاد گھبراؤ نہیں، تیرا مظلوم بابا حسین ہے. امام سجاد پریشان ہوئے، کہا بابا میری تلوار دیجئے، مجھے میرا عصا دیجئے، عصا سے کھڑا ہو کے تلوار سے جہاد کروں گا. آخر یہ بیٹا اپنے باپ کے کب کام آئے گا؟ لیکن میرے مولا نے لٹا دیا. کہا بیٹا نہیں، ابھی میرے امتحان کا وقت ہے. بیٹا سجاد تمہارا امتحان تو شام کے بازاروں میں ہوگا، تمہارا امتحان تو کوفے کے درباروں میں ہوگا. بیٹا صبر کرنا، ماں بہنوں کا ساتھ ہوگا، پھوپھیوں کا ساتھ ہوگا. بیٹا جلال امامت میں نہ آ جانا. بس عزادارو، میرا مولا کا امتحان تو ختم ہو گیا، لیکن ہائے اہل حرم کا امتحان، میرے مولا آقا حسین کی بیٹیوں کا امتحان. بھائی 2 جملے اور میں زحمت تمام کر رہا ہوں، زیادہ زحمت نہیں. آپ کو یاد ہے نا مدینے میں جب رسول خدا اس دنیا سے تشریف لے گئے تھے، شہزادی کونین دن اور رات گریا کرتی تھیں. یہاں تک کہ مدینے والے آ کے کہتے ہیں یا علی، سیدہ سے کہیں یا دن میں روئیں یا رات میں گریا کریں، ہم نہ دن میں چین لے سکتے ہیں نہ راتوں کو سو سکتے ہیں. بی بی کا گریا، ان کی صدائیں ہمیں ستاتی ہیں. بس عزادارو، یہ خبر شہزادی کو پہنچی. بی بی نے حسن و حسین کا ہاتھ تھاما، جنت البقیع میں آ کے بی بی گریا کرتی تھیں. کئی عرصے تک تو بی بی سخت دھوپ میں بیٹھ کے گریا کرتی تھیں. پھر میرے مولا علی نے ایک شامیانہ نصب کیا، پھر بی بی اس شامیانے کے نیچے آ کے اپنے بابا رسول خدا کی عزاداری کیا کرتی تھیں. آخر عزادارو، ظالموں نے وہ شامیانہ بھی ہٹا دیا. اتنا ظلم ہوا کہ بی بی اپنے آخری ایام میں جب ایک مرتبہ اپنے گھر میں گریا کر رہی تھیں، خبر یہ پہنچی تھی کہ مدینے میں بلال آئے ہیں. وہ بلال جو رسول خدا کے صحابی تھے. کیا دیکھا کہ بلال چھوڑ گئے تھے مدینہ، کہ جب سے خلافت علی ابن ابی طالب کو غصب کیا گیا ہے، اب بلال کبھی کسی کے لیے اذان نہیں دیں گے. یہ مؤذن رسول خدا تھے. تو کیا دیکھا؟ خواب میں رسول خدا کو دیکھا. کہا اے بلال، کیا معاملہ ہے؟ تم نے مدینہ چھوڑ دیا ہے، تم نے در اہل بیت سے وابستگی توڑ دی ہے. بس اتنا سننا تھا. بلال ایک مرتبہ بیدار ہوئے اور مدینے کا رخ کیا. اب جا کے مرتبہ خبر پہنچی کہ بلال آئے ہیں، رسول خدا کے مؤذن آئے ہیں. بی بی نے کہا کہ بلال کو حکم دیا جائے کہ بلال آذان دیں. کہا بی بی ہم نے وعدہ کیا ہے کہ رسول کے بعد آذان نہیں دیں گے. کہا نہیں، یہ فاطمہ کا حکم ہے. بس عزادارو، یہ جملے سنیے، خدائی قسم آپ کا دل پھٹ جائے گا. بلال مؤذن رسول خدا، گلدستہ آذان میں جا کے اللہ اکبر کی صدائیں بلند ہوئیں. بی بی کو اپنے بابا کا زمانہ یاد آ گیا. فاطمہ کے گریے میں ایک مرتبہ اضافہ ہوا. پھر کہا اشہد ان لا الہ الا اللہ. مدینے میں ایک کوہرام بپا ہوا کہ کہیں ایک عرصہ دراز سے ہم نے ایسی اذان نہیں سنی تھی. سب کو رسول کا زمانہ یاد آیا. میں یہ کہوں گا سب کو رسول کا زمانہ یاد آیا تھا. فاطمہ کو اپنے بابا کی یاد ستاتی تھی. بس عزادارو جیسے ہی بلال نے کہا نا اشہد ان محمد رسول اللہ، ایک مرتبہ بی بی رو رو کے غش کھا کے گر گئیں. کوئی شخص بھاگتا ہوا کہا بلال آزان مت دینا، سیدہ غش کھا گئی ہیں، سیدہ پر غشی کی حالت طاری ہو گئی ہے. میں کہوں گا بی بی ہاتھ جوڑ کے جملہ کہہ رہا ہوں اور آپ کو کربلا لے جا رہا ہوں. بی بی آپ نے بڑے احترام سے اپنے بابا کا نام سنا تھا، آپ پر ایک غشی کی حالت طاری ہو گئی، لیکن ہائے ذرا سکینہ سے تو پوچھئے سکینہ نے کس حال میں اپنے باپ کا نام سنا ہوگا. بلکہ میں کہوں گا عزادارو سکینہ نے کس حالت میں اپنے بابا کو وہ بے سر لاشا دیکھا ہوگا. آپ جانتے ہیں نا آخری جملہ زحمت تمام ہو گئی. آپ جانتے ہیں نا شام غریبہ جب خیموں کو آگ لگی تو بچے گم گئے. کچھ بچے جو تھے میرے مولا حسین کے بچے اہل حرم کے بچے گم گئے، لاپتہ ہو گئے. جناب زینب نے غور کیا کہ سکینہ نہیں ہے. ام کلثوم کو بلایا، کہا ام کلثوم میرے بھائی کی نشانی ہے، میرے بھائی کی امانت نہیں ملتی. ایک مرتبہ بی بی ام کلثوم بی بی زینب مقتل کی سرزمین میں اتری، کربلا کی سرزمین میں اتری. لاشوں کے درمیان سے ایک مرتبہ یہ بیبیاں چلتی چلتی آواز دیتی دیتی بیٹا سکینہ کہاں ہو، بیٹا سکینہ کہاں ہو، اے میرے بھائی کی نشانی کہاں ہو، اے میرے بھائی کی امانت کہاں ہو. کیا دیکھا؟ بس ایک مرتبہ ایک بے سر لاشا پایا اور اس لاشے کے پاس ایک چھوٹی سی بچی گریا کر رہی ہے. بس آواز آئی بے سر لاشے سے بہن زینب ذرا آہستہ، یہ بچی ابھی سوئی ہے، بہت تھکی ہوئی ہے. لیکن کیا کہتی ہے مقتل کی روایت، وہ بچی جو باپ کے سینے پہ سونے کی عادت تھی، اب اس سینے پہ کیسے سر رکھے جو سینہ پامال ہو چکا تھا، جس سینے میں اتنے تیر پیوست تھے. کیا دیکھا؟ بچی نے باپ کے قدموں پہ سر رکھا ہے، بچی سو گئی ہے. بھائی کسی بیٹی کو یہ باپ کو اس حالت میں یہ دیکھنا، یہ منظر دیکھنا نہ پڑے. لیکن ہائے میرا مولا حسین، ہائے سکینہ، اس حالت میں باپ کے ساتھ ایک مرتبہ قدموں میں سر رکھ کے سو گئی ہے. بی بی سکینہ نے بچی کو اپنی آغوش میں لیا اور واپس خیموں میں لے آئی. لیکن یہ بچی زیادہ دیر زندہ نہ رہ سکی. شام کے زندان میں باپ کو یاد کرتی کرتی یہ بچی دنیا سے چلی گئی. الا لعنت اللہ علی القوم الظالمین وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون والعاقبة للمتقين إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. ماتم حسین.
آرام کہاں، آرام کہاں، کشت اعلیٰ میں زینب کو بھلا آرام کہاں ہے آرام ہے آرام کہاں ہے آرام ہے آرام کہاں ہے کشت اعلیٰ میں زینب کو بھلا آرام ہے آرام ہے آرام کہاں ہے آرام کہاں ہے. قتل شبیر بھی عباس بھی اکبر ہوئے کٹ گئے اونو محمد کے بھی مقتل میں گلے. لاشا ابن حسن ہو گیا پامال جفا آرام کہاں ہے آرام کہاں ہے آرام کہاں ہے.
تیر جب اصغر معصوم کی گردن میں لگا، دیتی تھی خیمے کے در پر کھڑی بانو یہ صدا، بن تیرے چین ملے کیسے میرے ماغل کا آرام، ہے گئے آرام، ہے گئے آرام، کہاں ہے گئے. چھک گئی مشک سکینہ لب دریا افسوس، بے کفن خاک پہ ہے شیر کا لاشا افسوس، پیاسے بچوں کا کوئی چاہنے والا نہ رہا آرام کا، ہے گئے آرام، ہے گئے آرام، کہاں ہے گئے آرام. کشت اعلیٰ میں زینب کو بھلا آرام، ہے گئے آرام، کہاں ہے گئے، ہے چھن گئی سر سردا، جل گئے اسباب تمام، باد شبیر نمودار ہوئی کیسی ہے شام، خون کانوں سے بہا بچی کا دامن بھی جلا، ہے گئے آرام، کہاں ہے گئے، ہے آرام، کہاں ہے گئے. سر شہیدوں کے سر نو کے سینہ قید غرم، ایک دو کا نہیں سینے میں 72 کا ہے غم، بیڑیاں پہنے ہوئے لاغر و بیمار چلا آرام، ہے گئے ہے گئے آرام، کہاں ہے گئے. کوئی مارا گیا تلوار سے نیزے سے، کوئی لاش مقتل میں کسی دولہا کی پامال ہوئی، ہو گئے بازوئے عباس سے علمدار جدا آرام، ہے گئے آرام، کہاں ہے گئے رام، کہاں ہے گئے آرام، کہاں کشت اعلیٰ میں زینب کو بھلا آرام، ہے گئے، ہے گئے، ہے گئے آرام، کہاں ہے گئے. رو رو کہتی ہے سکینہ میرے امو آؤ، مجھ کو مارے نہ لائی آ کے انہیں سمجھاؤ، کیوں نہیں سنتے ہو دیتی ہوں تمہیں کب سے صدا آرام، ہے گئے آرام، کہاں ہے گئے، ہے گئے آرام، کہاں ہے گئے. کشت اعلیٰ میں زینب کو بھلا آرام، ہے گئے آرام،
یا حسین 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 یا حسین. حسین حیا علی خیر العمل، حیا علی خیر العمل، حیا علی خیر العمل، حیا علی خیر العمل. یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین. زینب اسیر رہیں جو علم شام آ گئی، 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 زینب اسیر رہیں جو علم شام آ گئی زینب اسیر رہیں عابد کے رک رہے ہیں قدم شام آ گئی عابد کے رک رہے ہیں قدم شام آ گئی زینب اسیر رہیں جو علم شام آ گئی زینب اسیر رہیں جو علم شام آ گئی زینب اسیر جو علم شام آ گئی چہرے پہ قیدیوں کے لکیریں ہے خون کی چہرے پہ قیدیوں کے لکیریں ہے خون کی تاریخ ہو رہی ہے رقم شام آ گئی زینب اسیر رہیں جو علم شام آ گئی زینب اسیر رہیں جو علم شام آ گئی زینب اسیر رہیں جو علم شام آ گئی بازار کی زمین کا رنگ سرخ ہو گیا بازار کی زمین کا رنگ سرخ ہو گیا عابد کے زیوروں کی قسم شام آ گئی زینب اسیر رہیں جو علم شام آ گئی زینب اسیر رہیں جو علم شام آ گئی
یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین حسین یا حسین یا حسین 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 اللہم صلی علی محمد وآل محمد توجہ زیارت
السلام علیک یا رسول اللہ السلام علیک یا نبی اللہ السلام علیک یا حبیب اللہ السلام علیک یا رسول اللہ السلام علیک یا امیر المومنین علی ابن ابی طالب السلام علیک یا فاطمۃ الزہراء الصدیقۃ الطاہرہ الشہیدۃ والمظلومۃ والمقتولہ صلوات اللہ علیہا الصلاة والسلام على امامنا الحسن المجتبى المقتول بسم الجفا وعلى ابی عبد اللہ الحسین الشہید بکربلا وعلى 9 المعصومین من ذریة الحسین العلی ابن الحسین زین العابدین ومحمد ابن علی الباقر وجعفر ابن محمد الصادق وموسى ابن جعفر الكاظم وعلی ابن موسى الرضا ومحمد ابن علی الجواد وعلی ابن محمد الحادی والحسن ابن علی العسکری السلام علیک مولانا یا صاحب العصر والزمان السلام علیک یا شریک القرآن السلام علیک یا خلیفۃ الرحمن عجل اللہ تعالی فرجک وسهل اللہ تعالی مخرجک وظہورک ورحمت اللہ وبرکاتہ بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم اللہم کن لولیک الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين